No, I'm covering up Kevin Bacon now. I'm all sad. Excuse you? Did you just say
Aw.
He was ugly in this movie. I will just say that.
I don't think he was ugly in this.
Especially at the end when his hair's like blown. Like he's really hot right now, but like when the like at the end when his forehead is on full display, I was like, oh.
He looked like he was like in that mid area of where like it's not long enough to be like long hair, but it's not like short enough to be the like decent short hair. So he's like that weird.
It wasn't so much his hair that was the problem. It was just his whole face was a thing.
Don't you talk about my Kevin that way.
Which is weird because he was hot in Friday the 13th. So I don't know what was going on with this movie.
Actually, I do know what was going on with him in this movie.
Meth.
No.
Oh.
Well, I guess we'll get right into it then. This, I was like, what do I say again? This is Slashers, your favorite horror podcast about your favorite horror media. My name is Aid, and with me as always are my esteemed colleagues, co-hosts, and cohorts, my boo-boo Mikey.
So, dog.
And Lancey Poo.
Hola!
Of course, you always have to make a scene.
My culture is not a costume, Lance.
True.
Slightly my culture as well. Well, maybe not your culture, but my culture of our
that's
culture.
Mexican. You're Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
Puerto Ricans don't go, ay, 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 ay. Puerto Ricans don't have a little Mexican mouse that zooms across Bugs Bunny and stuff. That's...
Aww.
It's not Puerto Rican. Anyways.
We talking about Slowpoke? Slowpoke is great.
The Pokemon? We're talking about Speedy Gonzales.
No, Gonzales. He has a cousin called Slowpoke.
Okay, well, maybe he's from Puerto Rico, but... That trash island.
Wow.
I didn't say it.
You did
a comedian said it.
Oh my god.
You're talking about what's his name? Kill Tony.
I have no idea. I didn't watch the Trump inauguration like you did.
No, he is. So, like, he's a comedian known for that kind of stuff. So Kill Tony is well renowned for his quick wit and just saying like the most kind of fucked up shit. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, this month marks our very first episode of Maybe It's MAY-belline, where we talk about creature feature makeup and effects. So, yay to May.
Hooray! I made a rhyme. My goodness.
What happened?
Made a rhyme.
I did. Yay. Hooray. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Sorry, I'm still recovering from our day at the Monster Mart where Lance and I basically cooked in the sun, 94 degrees.
You missed nothing, Mikey.
I saw, what's the acronym? NWTDIWTMS. Nick with that I want to make me sick.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. He was there. He has camera. Ooh, did we get any pictures yet, I wonder?
I saw one from him from behind. That was hot.
I know. I took it.
This is a test to see if he listens. Just kidding.
Like, I knew that girl was weird.
Yeah, it's the girl that he had an issue with.
Well, you were there taking pictures of him. Bless his heart. Anyway, so yes, Lance and I had a booth at the Monster Mart this weekend, so that's what we were doing, and we got a ton of new followers. We're going to do the raffle this week. I just forgot. I was going to do it yesterday, but I forgot my notepad because I assigned everybody a number, but my notepad was sitting on my desk in my classroom, and I was like, fuck. So I had a picture of it, but I wanted to take a little video and like make it like so people can see what number they are, so it doesn't look like we cheated or anything.
Yeah.
But alas, I forgot it. So anyways, yes, it was Monday. Leave me alone.
Better luck next time, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thanks for everybody who started following us too. Actually, I think our subscribers are up on YouTube as well. I think we were at 492. I think we're
400,922. Yes, that's where we're at. Thank you, Lance. Anyway. So, yeah, we had a really good turnout. Mikey, I owe you money, so remind me, because I forgot if you had Venmo or Cash App or something. I know. But we sold a couple shirts. Lance sold all his junk that he loves. And
Junk to other people. That's what it is.
clearly not. They bought it.
They love it. I was excited. Thanks for buying stuff, guys.
Yes. He had a lot of VHS that people are very interested in. So good for Lance. Then,
Yay, Lance.
yeah, and a lot of people came out to say hi, and there was ice cream and tie-dye shirts. So for the last Monster Mart, this was a lot of fun. So thank you, Atomic Horror, for allowing us to join you this year. And hopefully the next time we do it, we won't be all roasting in the sun. Because I think by the end of the day, it was a little rough.
Don't forget, we did have a Patreon member stop by to visit the booth.
Oh, yes.
Your mom?
My mom came. And
Yay.
Lance snubbed her.
Never.
Lance.
Never met her in person before.
That's how you feel about our Patreon members? Wow.
Yeah. Well, she walked up. She's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hey," and she's like, "Where's Adrian?" It's like inside.
Yeah, I was in the AC. Thank God
Wow.
we were right by the door too, so it was so easy for us to just go in there and hide for a little bit.
Your mom's gonna leave the Patreon. She's like, last time y'all called me a bitch. This time Lance ignored me.
Well, she'll readily admit to you that she listens for like a few minutes, then turns it off, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, same.
Anyway, I know, right? Today's creature feature is my pick, and when Mikey was saying that, I was like, "Oh, creature effects! I love that, like makeup and practical effects and all of that." And I'm like, you know what? We've never done Tremors on the show, and I love Tremors. And Tremors, I just realized, is 35 years old. So, oh my God,
Wow. Old enough to be Lance's child.
that's
But-
true, or his girlfriend. Yeah.
Wow. There it is. I
Dang.
know, it's always coming after me.
That's cold, but true.
It's fine. She likes older men, so there that is.
Who, me?
Yeah. How old is Dan now? In his 40s?
Okay. Anyways,
Ooh.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, we'll see which one comes out in the edit.
Yeah, I know exactly.
true. Remember, I have the
Mhm.
editing power today.
Yeah.
Remember, this one's actually going to be edited. It's not like
I know, like, everything Mikey does, I'm like, like I don't have to worry about it. Mikey will either take it or don't take it. Abe will like make sure it does not appear.
Yeah,
Well-
and by the way, Lance edited his first video solo, everybody. So round of applause, but also disappointed.
What would I do?
You took out the best part of the video. When you messed up somebody's name in a great
Oh.
manner. I was
Yeah,
like-
I did pull a aid.
What happened?
I saved myself in this
Who are
situation.
we
What-
talking about? And
What
you said
video?
the I Know What You Did Last Summer review.
Oh, okay.
What name was it, Lance? I know you know.
I plead the fifth.
It was Freddie Prinze Jr. You're calling him Freddie Perez.
Yeah, who the fuck is Freddie Perez? Oh my
And
God.
I thought it was hilarious. And then upon watching the edited version, alas, that part was gone.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see that part.
Mm-hmm.
You little
So-
scamp.
I did
Everyone,
a
I
great job.
apologize. Lance doesn't have a sense of humor and doesn't want you to laugh at our episodes. So
Aw.
Well, I'm sure there's some names we'll mess up today, but
I'm sure I will. So there that is.
well, Mikey. So Mikey at the beginning of the episode was mentioning that Kevin Bacon was not hot in this one, which I disagree because I thought he looked so cute in those little skinny jeans and his little boots. However,
I think you like he looks cute for other reasons why he doesn't think he looks cute.
well,
I
no,
just
but-
didn't think his face looked weird.
well, his hair was much longer than we're used to seeing him. Because before this, obviously, you're used to seeing him in Friday the 13th. He was super young in that movie, which it's interesting to me that he was so uptight about this film because he did a horror movie, which is like, I think his first movie or his
I
second.
think it was his first movie.
I think his actual first one was Animal House.
Yeah, it wasn't but did Animal House come first? I can't remember.
Because his hair was really short in Animal House.
Yeah, let's look it up. Because 1980 was Friday the 13th, and Animal House was
I was in the 70s, like late 70s.
78. Yeah. So, yep. So Animal House was his first, but who fucking cares about that movie when we have Friday the 13th? So,
Yeah.
and which, was shocking to me that he would feel some animosity towards Tremors, and he doesn't anymore, people. So I just want everyone to know because I posted a video of Kevin Bacon a while ago on my Instagram, and I wrote down his quote because the quote that he said in that video, the gist of it, made me so happy because I feel like Kevin Bacon, he does a lot of very interesting roles and he does a lot of horror films like, Stir of Echoes, Friday the 13th being his first horror film, Tremors, The River Wild
Maxine.
is Maxine. The River Wild always scared me, but I know it's not really considered horror, as Lance would say, but he was such a prick in that movie. That movie scared me. Like, he was really scary in that movie.
He's also in the Invisible Man, right? Like
Invisible or Hollow Man.
Hollow
Yeah.
Man.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
see his
hot
dick.
one.
Yeah. I mean,
And then he was
sorry,
in Wild
Kevin.
Things. And he's in a horror show right now where he's basically Constantine.
Yeah, watch
But
that.
so I got fooled, everyone. April Fools came late for me because we watched Tremors. And I have been hearing there are rumors that they're trying to reboot it to a Netflix series with Kevin Bacon.
Mhm.
I've been hearing this for a while. And then, like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I saw like a little poster of like a mock up of Kevin Bacon walking in the desert and it says coming soon Tremors with Netflix. So to
Ooh.
me, it made perfect sense. Be like, oh, look, this is actually it. And I sent it to the team and I was like, look, just right on time. And Lance was like, is that real? And that was like right when I was looking up to see if it was real, which it's not. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, because the people who I guess initially had the rights just got the rights back.
I think
And-
Universal has the rights right now. So I don't know how easily they'll give it up.
Well, let me clear that up for you.
Oh.
Because I did research on all of this today. Also, too, I have that quote, so don't let me forget to tell you guys the quote. But anyway, so the company Stampede, okay, and a blog, Stampede Entertainment was able to confirm that hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. It reclaimed the rights to the original script of the 1990 movie. So that's what they have. So they're exploring potential projects, including a Return to Perfection sequel, noting that the film's original name was Beneath Perfection, and other news stories featuring Graboids. However, Stampede confirmed they will not make a remake. They will not remake the original movie or revive their unused Tremors 5 script. However, the company clarified that it cannot license anything from the first movie, such as the Graboid design or title logo, because Universal Studios still retains those rights. So
Ooh, suck it, Lance.
so the Kevin Bacon, that fake little picture, it is a fake. It was rumor of an 8-episode Netflix series in August with Kevin Bacon's photo on it, but it's not true. However, he did film in 2018 a pilot episode for a series for Tremors that never aired. And I was trying to look for it today because people were trying to, like, I saw people on Reddit asking like how they can stream it. But I think the only thing you can really find right now is like the script online, but you can't see whatever the hell he filmed. So he did something.
Yeah. Which
it-
kind of makes me feel like it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Well, it didn't get picked up. Like, I don't think it was like nobody was interested in it at the time, which I'm shocked because I feel like Tremors does have a very cult following. There was the series, one season, 13 episodes on Sci-Fi back in 2003, and that was like a direct sequel to, I think, part 3 of Tremors. And so it kind of picked up after part 3 on TV for a little bit, and then that got canceled. But it's Sci-Fi, so God knows what they did to it.
That was probably terrible.
Well, the
Yeah.
last Tremors is what, 2020? I think was it Tremors 5 is 2020.
No, Adrian said Tremors 5 wasn't made. They have an unused script out there, so it's probably.
Really? I saw one where they're like in the snow. I saw like a poster. I thought it said 5. Maybe it's 4. I guess then.
I think there is a snow one. There's one on like a tropical island or something. I don't know. There's one where they look like velociraptors. I don't know.
Yeah, like it gets crazy because like I think the second one had them like running like on legs, like so they weren't even in the ground anymore, and the CGI was pretty decently. I think that was the second one's the last one with Ward, the other character that was
Fred Ward,
yeah, Fred Ward,
who was Earl. Yeah, was he in the last one? So there's Tremors 2 Aftershocks, which came out in 96. 2001 we have Tremors 3 Back to Perfection in 2001. 2004 we had Tremors 4 The Legend Begins. 2015 Tremors 5 Bloodlines, and I think was that the one with Jamie Kennedy? So I feel like
I forgot he was in one of those, wasn't he?
yeah,
I think
Michael
you're right.
Gross. Yeah, Michael Gross is in a bunch. Is I think in all of them actually. Because Michael Gross, the dad from Family Ties behind me, who plays the the apocalypse guy or whatever. What are they called? Those people, those
Doomsday
survivalists.
preppers.
Yeah,
Yeah, Doomsday.
actually, you know what? I rocked into him at Spooky Empire, and he was so sweet. And I was like, Lance, look who it is. And Lance was too busy not paying attention.
Okay, first of all, I
Figures,
was
honestly.
looking for AIDS alcohol that she was upset about. That was
He was on his phone. He could have looked up from the phone.
whatever.
Anyways, so then so 2018 Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell. So I think that is the
The
snow
cold snow
one.
one.
Yeah.
And I think Jamie Kennedy is also in that one. And then we have Tremors. Yeah, and like Michael Gross literally is in all of them because I see him in this every poster. Shrieker Island is the latest one from 2020. So
Oh, so they didn't even call it Tremors in that one.
Tremors Shrieker.
Oh, is that what they? Okay.
Shrieker Island. So I guess that's where they go to the island and they find them. I don't know. I have not seen a single sequel to this franchise.
Maybe we
And
should do a Children of the Corn moment here.
I know, oh my God, that was
I
rough
know. I
though.
actually would like to watch all of them. I think
Yeah, it'd be probably fun.
they're probably cheesy as fuck, but like they're so different. The hard thing about Children of the Corn is it's like the same thing over and over again with like little tweaks. But these
Yeah.
movies go so bonkers. It's like a fresh take each time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, the fact of the matter is they purposely made the lore and the history of the Graboids ambiguous in part one. Like you never really know where they come from, so that they could spawn a bunch of sequels. So that's why we have all of these sequels today. Unfortunately, Kevin Bacon is not in any of them because he had such a problem being in this movie at the time. In fact, it was said that he was quoted talking about how he got on the floor one day, like just hitting the floor, like thinking this was going to ruin his career. He only took the movie because his wife was pregnant, and he was like, it was one of his lowest times in his life. He felt so depressed. And, he always associated that with Tremors. But now he looks back on it and he realizes that, that was probably one of his best, times filming something because he just had the best time with the crew, the cast, everybody. And Michael Gross always says the same thing about these films, which is why I think he keeps making them, is because, they had such a great camaraderie on the film. Like he was saying how, it's not it's not often that a director will like listen to any suggestions that you have about a character you're playing and like work with you and be like completely like copacetic about everything, and like it was like a give and take relationship. And I think I've saw like two different interviews with him talking about this, so you can see that I think in the movie because the film is a lot of fun. And you can tell that all these people like are genuinely having a good time filming this. And it's just, it's a shame that Kevin Bacon hated it back then. And also, because it was considered a flop, and the director and the writers were saying that, and the producers were saying that, in part, that the trailer that they cut, it was really bad. And I've never seen the trailer for it, I don't think.
I haven't either.
He says they say it's really cringy, and it's probably what deterred people from watching it because they took out a lot of fucks out of the movie so that they could give it a PG-13 rating. Because like when they say mother humper and stuff like that, obviously
I think I noticed a couple of parts where it seemed like it was dubbed over something they were saying, and I was like, because I did notice it was PG. I think there is one fuck, but I think you're allowed one fuck in PG-13 movies.
They got it down to 2.
I was gonna say maybe 2,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I did see a little bit of the lips mismatching. But honestly, I don't know. Maybe this is because also this is the '90s, right? Yeah, the early '90s. I'm surprised it's PG-13 because there's a lot of grody-ness to it.
Yeah, it's the effects are very, and this is why I wanted to pick it because of the practical effects. Lance, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. I mean, honestly, it's like kind of like the Jaws of like the desert kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Because the way sometimes the perspective that they have for the of the worms,
Graboids.
yeah, Graboids. It's kind of cool because it's because they have the one moment where, because even in Jaws you have that moment where you see like a water scene for a second, which they kind of repeated the same, dirt scene as it's going through the ground, like multiple times. But like then you get like the top angle of like it chasing somebody, which is kind of what Jaws does. So I thought that was really cool how they kind of either an homage or they just did it because they thought it'd be a cool way to do it because they didn't want to show it too often and still give the same kind of scare tactic that Jaws did. Not cinematic, but film wise,
like a cinematic experience.
Yeah, exactly. So like I thought that was really cool, and it was always one of the main things that was cool, and the fact that they actually basically show the whole body at one point after
At
the first
end.
Yeah, well, that and like kind of how like when they dig out uh the one where it hits the wall, the first one where it hits the wall where they try to jump over the ravine and they suck and missed it in one of those like this.
Am I correct in that there is just one in this movie, right? There's just one creature, or is there multiple?
No, there was 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Did they kill all of them?
Yeah,
they did.
Because one hits the wall in the little ravine thing they were in. That was the first one. The next one, I think, the gun toting people kill one in the wall.
Reba and
Reba McEntire. One of her first acting, I think, movies.
Yeah,
did
that's
she sing the song?
Her first acting role.
She probably did.
Oh my god!
Because when the song came on, because I was wondering, I was like, was Reba an actress first or a singer first?
She was a singer.
Yeah, and I think she may have sang the end, and that really just like I really love Reba. I'm from Texas, so I do like a little bit of country, but it's always fun to see, country, celebrities you kind of or singers you kind of see might not have the best sense of humor.
Yeah.
We have a live example going on right now with Saturday Night Live. But like Reba was like, you don't do this because you think this is going to be the next Shawshank Redemption and you're the country star going to rise above it all. But like, and that's why Kevin Bacon probably was like, fuck, what did I do this? Because on the surface level, if you're not a horror fan doing this, you're like, this is a shit, I promise. Monsters under the sand dragging people down.
Well, that and you have like the Family Ties dad. You have Reba McEntire, who's not really an actress. You know what I mean? Like, there's quite a few. Like, oh man, it has Wong, the guy who was in Big Trouble in Little China. And
I recognize him.
Did you guys recognize the little girl, by the way?
Yeah, from Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Ariana Richards. Mm-hmm.
I noticed the teen boy.
Yes, he was.
Skater boy.
What other movie? He was in something. He was one of
a lot of stuff. He's like the slacker dude.
Maybe.
Yeah, back then.
He reminded me of a whole bunch of different people, but I couldn't remember who he was exactly.
No,
I feel like he was in like some teen movies in the 90s, maybe even adjacent to Jennifer Love Hewitt. Shout out, I know what you did last summer.
I'm looking now. Hang on. His name, he's still good looking too. He actually looks better now than he did back then. Okay, so
his name is Kevin Bacon.
No. No, oh my god, I love Kevin Bacon. Don't even go there. So Bobby Jacoby as Melvin Plug. I'm clicking on him now. We know him from Perfect Strangers, Knots Landing, The Greatest American Hero. That's where I knew him from. St. Elsewhere, Love Boat. I mean, he's literally in everything from back in the day. Tremors 3, I guess. Oh wow.
So's Ariana Richards. I think she came back in 3 as well. That's kind of cool that they both came back, the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to watch the new ones.
Yeah, we need to definitely watch them. Yeah, she came direct to video. She was in it. Which I always thought, because I've seen this movie a million times. But I always thought that that they were brother and sister in the movie, and the kids were.
Yeah, because he didn't have any parents, did he?
No, he didn't, because he's not.
No, he's by himself.
Yeah. So he's just making a big fuss. So that, Melvin's the pain in the ass kid that, gets run up the outhouse. Is he hiding on top of the outhouse?
Yeah. Well, that and like he pretty much is like the perfect idea is what's the crying wolf?
The boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, throughout the whole movie. So at one point you were like, it would have been kind of crazy if they finally like killed him off. But I wonder what his character's like older, like in the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Cool to see. Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be cool to see.
We definitely should watch it. Patreon.
Real quick, Adrian.
Yes.
For a very small fraction of our audience who may not know what Tremors is about, can you please inform them of such as film?
I'm trying to, but everyone today keeps interrupting me, so
Lance,
I'm just.
we've talked about this.
What's your best?
Do we need to go on strike 3?
So Tremors. Tremors airs January 19th, 1990. The tagline of the film, they say there's nothing under the sun, but under the ground, ... ellipses, all that fun stuff. God help me.
Someone
So
was thinking it out there.
the runtime for this film is 96 minutes. The budget was 6.4 to 10 million. It grossed 16.7 million and actually stayed in the top 10 for like a month. So
And it was a
I mean,
failure?
I don't really think it was a failure. I mean, I guess get the money that it made, but it's basically about natives of a small isolated town defend themselves against strange underground creatures which are killing them one by one. Now, initially, you don't get the footage of the old man up in the
Climbing up
pole.
the pole?
Yeah, like you don't get him up there, and you don't see the graboid going after Rhonda when she's getting in her truck.
Hmm.
Like you see the POV shot.
And you don't see the road worker people, I think.
Well, no, that's the first time they wanted to show the graboids because they wanted to keep it like you didn't know,
Yeah.
and you would think it was like a serial killer getting these people.
Yeah.
But then they marketed it as a monster movie, so at that point, like they had no choice.
Why bother?
I mean, because that's another homage, I guess, to Jaws. Like, kind of keep the monster under wraps, and you're not really going to see it. And we don't really see we don't see how insanely humongous it is until that part where it does crash into the ravine and Kevin Bacon's in the back. Like, I mean, the attention to detail for these fucking things.
Yeah.
And there were a total of 4. And she figures out that there's 3 more because she's studying the seismographs, and at the same times she keeps getting all these weird tremors. In different places, and she realizes there are 3 more of them. So, and I never noticed before though that the one that holds onto their truck,
Mm-hmm.
that's the big bad one. That's the smart one because that
That's
one
the
lasts
Snoopy.
until the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
Snoopy.
That's mom.
yeah, because they always notice it's got one of the thingies missing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
May I interrupt, or are you doing something?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So real quick, just to tie a bow in our previous conversations, Bobby Jacoby was with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Can't Hardly Wait. He played one of Seth Green's friend. Also, Adrian, you told us to remind you about Kevin Bacon's line that he wrote in a quote. So what
okay.
was that, please?
So, well, he didn't write it. He said it in a video that he was talking about horror films and why he loves them so much. And he understands why people are not everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but everyone should at least appreciate them. And what he said at the end of the video, which I adored, and I wrote it down immediately, was he said that a horror movie or a really funny comedy are the 2 genres that can really bind an audience as one organism. And Tremors happens to be both a horror and a comedy. So I'm glad that he has come to see the light, that it did not kill his career, because we would not have the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon if that were the case.
Yeah. Little did Kevin Bacon know he did not have to worry about nothing ruining his career.
No.
But this is the perfect segue into a quick commercial break, because Scary Movie 6 has just been announced, with speaking of comedy and horror, and it has all the original cast coming from the first one back. Sean and Marlon Wayans, which means it's probably going to be filthy, which I'm so excited for. I don't know how this new generation is going to take it, because those first 2 movies are cancelable.
Just a little bit.
And it'll be parodying It and Vecna and Art the Clown, Michael Myers. I forgot what else. But not just Cindy is coming back, but all of that cast from the first one. So I'm very excited for that. Now back to your regular scheduled program.
Well, now that we know that there are more horror comedies afoot. But yeah, and so with this one, we want to talk about the creature effects, and so I had some trivia based on the company that designed the graboids and created them. So if you want to know a little bit about them, the company is called Amalgamated Dynamics. They're called something else now, but This particular company was helmed by both Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Gillis, and they were alumni of the Stan Winston Company
Nice.
for creature effects. So, and if you don't know who Stan Winston is, if you've seen Jurassic Park, then you know who Stan Winston is, so shut up.
Yeah. Or
Um,
listen to our Leviathan episode where I get yelled at for not knowing who he was.
mhm.
That's good. I was like, mm-hmm.
Well, I follow the Stan Winston School on Instagram because they always like show the coolest things that they create. So if you don't follow them on Instagram, they show a lot of their work that they do with the students and everything. So I think it's really, informative. But they actually did work on Teen Witch. Go figure.
His son does a lot of stuff. It's really cool how his son's taken over the studio and everything like
Oh,
that.
Stan Winston Company. Yeah.
Yeah, his kid like does a lot of really cool stuff, and they're one of the rare ones that survives the AI onslaught when everybody was just going right to doing well, not maybe not AI,
CGI.
but CGI more like, but like, you know what I mean, like when there was I think there was a really cool documentary about it, about how certain companies had to survive uh that CGI onslaught where everybody was just straight to CGI, no one was doing any practical effects, and it was really cool how. And then now how they have a really good blend of using both, where instead of being killed off, they just embrace each other, which is really cool because it kind of goes along with horror movies, because we are the kind of embracing of things that feel like get thrown away, so it's kind of cool.
Well, to your point though, the
Some
company
things belong in the
itself,
trash.
which is
Go
not
ahead.
that, so they're not the Stan Winston Company. They are a different company, and they're not Stan Winston. So just we'll keep it at that. But they had a huge like issue too. They did a lot of they did a Kickstarter after the whole debacle with the Thing reboot, which wasn't really a reboot, it was actually a prequel.
Mm.
It came out with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. When was that? That was like 2008 or something. 2012.
I think it was 2012. Let's see, that thing. 2011.
2011. Okay. So, because everybody fucking came for that movie because of the
Yeah.
horrible CGI, because the Thing is known for its practical effects. And so,
And it
you know,
actually was a decent movie. We've talked about this before. So
yeah, I
don't
do
shit on
like
it,
that.
audience. Go watch it if you can, but don't expect the magic of the first one.
No, you're not. But the movie itself is good. It's just the practical effects, there are none really. I mean, it's mostly CGI. And I think that's why, when you deal with, especially with horror films, you can't rely heavily on CGI for so many things because I mean it doesn't age well. Like it really
No.
for instance, this company also did Mortal Kombat, and I love Mortal Kombat, from the 90s. But we all know that CGI does not age well.
No, but that's charming. They're lucky because
Yeah.
it's charming because the video game is kind of cheesy too. So it's like it's forgiving. But the only movie that's ever graciously aged with their CGI is Event Horizon, from my recollection.
Do you
All
think
other
Jurassic Park as well, or no?
Well,
no Jurassic Park too, but that was a lot of practical.
yeah,
Mm,
there was
Yeah,
CGI, but most of the time blended with. But
Yeah,
again,
I
that was
mean,
Stan Winston, so
yeah.
yeah, and I mean, like to me, I'm forgiving of CGI if it's something that you absolutely cannot do with what you have. Like the Brontosaurus, I don't expect them to build that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm okay if you have a little CGI Brontosaur or a big one. But these movies like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey #1, where it was so bad they had to pretend it was a fake movie in the second one. Don't play with my time. I did want to ask though, because the main thing when I was watching this movie, I've only seen it. This is the second time I've seen it. I saw it the first time on TV when I was a kid. It's for straight people. Didn't care for it, but when y'all saw it when y'all were little, or Lance, I guess you were like 20.
Oh my God.
Did you think it was scary?
yeah.
I did. There's two parts. Oh, go ahead, Lance.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I was like,
You were too old.
I think it was, yeah. I think it was in that situation where like I really liked it. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? I think it was like I was excited because it was a monster. You know what I mean? And then they had the guns and they're in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like it seemed realistic. Like you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I wonder if somebody did testing with chemicals. Like your brain goes into all those things. So like it worked for me in that sense. As in scary, it was more of like, will they survive more than being freaked out by things. Though the guy that fell on the tire. I was like, why would you think that would help you?
Well, I will say, when I was a kid, even though I only saw it once, I always thought about them at the beach because the concept of like something being in sand grabbing you is creepy.
Mm.
It is kind of like Jaws. I mean, I'm pretty it didn't have the same impact Jaws did with water because sharks are real.
Yeah.
This thing, I personally don't know if it's real or not, but I haven't seen one. And so that concept was creepy because also we had this weird fear of like quicksand when we were young. I don't know if the kids these days still have it, so kind of play with the whole quicksand fear. But the part that did scare me, and it gave me the heebie-jeebies again watching it, is when that woman gets attacked and she runs into her wagon, and then it starts taking the wagon underground. That's scary because you expect her to be safe in her car, but no, it's like I'm gonna take the whole thing down.
Yeah, that was scary. And like there are parts in it that are meant to like freak you out, like when they pull the hat off of old Fred's off the
Head,
ground and his
yeah.
head is in the
Yeah, that was gruesome. That was, that was one of those moments that I was like, "Is this PG-13?"
Yeah, because I always thought it was rated R. I didn't realize it was PG-13 until yesterday. I rewatched it again last night, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh yeah, because they don't swear too much. Because I feel like I'd be swearing a lot more if these things were coming out of this.
Well, Earl's always like, excuse my French.
Yeah, part of my French.
I
But
mean, I was gonna say.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that. I mean, honestly, I think I was saying something to you about this aid like earlier. I was like, there's a body count. Like, there's quite a body count in this, and then the way that the storekeeper gets Hun gets taken out in the store, like you see his full body. I mean, you see blood coming from his nose coming out, like
Yeah.
and then they have the brains in the hard hats from some of the survey guys and stuff like that. So like, it's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Like, if you don't think this is a horror movie in some way, like a monster horror movie, you're absolutely wrong. Like,
Yeah.
normally I'd be the first one to say otherwise, but not this one.
No, I mean it's scary because like they're big and they're gross and it's gross. It's disgusting. Like they're always oozing like different pus and everything. And it's sad when Victor Wong. So Victor Wong plays Chang, who owns the grocery store. And fun fact about that was that it was initially going to be a Vietnamese store, but he asked the writers and the director if they could make it he's Chinese in real life. So he's like, well, could it be a Chinese store? And they totally were like, yeah, let's do that. So, I mean, it just shows you like the relationship that they had with everybody on set. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But it was really sad when he dies because, like, everybody else, like, they're just characters in the movie, like, for fodder. But, like, you really like him. And, and I always remembered him from, was it Three Ninjas? What is the name?
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember him from Big Trouble in Little China as
Yeah.
the main guy.
So, and that's so sad. It's like, oh my God. So, and you feel for these families, especially when they're all up in the roofs and you're afraid, it's going to eat the little girl or is it going to get, Melvin being stupid on top of the outhouse. You really like become endeared to all of these characters in such a quick amount of time because like, you know all of these characters and it's just, it's interesting. Like it's got such heart. It's not one of those cheesy ass, like, monster creature flicks, because a lot of monster movies, especially horror comedies, it's like, like hokey. I never really think it's hokey. Like, I just think it's, the writing is good. I think the characters are fun and like, you feel for them because you realize, oh my God, they're fucked at some point. Like they have no choice, like either run or,
Yeah, I think what it has to its detriment, and this might be controversial statement. I apologize, everybody, but one of the reasons why the original Halloween came off my top 5 list of horror movies is because all the sequels. It kind of has to answer for those, and I feel this has the same detriment where it's good. It's not cheesy. It's a B horror movie, but it's serious and it's not trying to be cheesy. It's not trying to be dumb. It's not trying to like do anything crazy except entertain you and kind of freak you out a little bit to be a monster movie. But as the sequels come out, And as sci-fi gets a hold of the sequels, and as they start making these CGIs off of Windows 98, like it kind of it cheapens the original product. Because when I watched it, that's what I was expecting. I was like, okay, get this over with. It's gonna be, cheesy, but like there really wasn't. There was nothing, no complaints I had about the special effects, which is the biggest part of the movie, except for one. And this is a minor complaint, but I can tell whenever they do something in reverse and make it seem like it's happening in real time, and that happened once. And I was like, clocked it, but also it was 1990. And I'm
Yeah.
a bitch.
Did you guys like the fact that outside of the Jaws stuff, kind of an homage to Children of the Corn, with the dirt, how the way they made it follow things, like especially the way the I guess it was the porch when they're trying to run into the thing and all the porch wood pieces are flying up in the air, kind of deal.
So I think. So wait, did you say this is the homage to that, or that's an homage to this?
No. They're an homaging to Children of the Corn, especially the way the practical effects for how like something's under the ground in the cornfields. It's almost like they use the same practical effect for this to give off the same kind of dirt.
So the Corn. Did they do that in the original Children of the Corn? Because when we were doing that terrible month of all the Children of the Corn movies, one of the trivias was that they used the trick that they used in Tremors, which was to drag a barrel under the sand to make it look like something's gliding under the sand. And they took it from Tremors, but it was one of the sequels. It wasn't the original one. So I don't know if the original one, I don't remember if it did that or not.
Oh yeah, because I mean like because in the first one they have like the dirt pop up too.
No, because the first one took it from. I don't think they took it. No, because that was in the 70s, so they couldn't have taken it from.
The first one is from 84. I just looked it up just to make sure.
Was it 84? Okay.
Yeah, because I would imagine Tremors took a little bit up from that, and maybe they upgraded it, and maybe one of the newer Children of the Corn took it from to like upgrade their version of what they were doing. So maybe it's kind of like one of those things where like, hey, we took something from you, and then you did something better and made it look cooler, and then we took something that you did for one of our sequels, which is kind of cool if you think about it.
I mean, everything borrows from everything whenever it comes to these movies. So, but I do think it's interesting that those two films keep intersecting in my mind, anyways, because of the trivia But then they're both like rural horror movies, so.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, practical effects. I mean, everybody, I'm assuming, borrows something from somebody. Like, I mean, it's like The Howling comparatively to, Werewolf in London, where they almost had similar, like, hand growing moments and stuff like that, but it was actually done by the same guy, I guess. So that's the reason that happened. The effects guy in those two movies, it was the same person because he worked on both movies, and they slightly used basically both I guess practical stuff for both movies.
Yeah.
Just one came out earlier. So I love Age doesn't believe me, so she's looking it up right now. I watched the documentary. That's the one I was watching about how CGI and practical effects.
Oh, well, Rick Baker did the effects for American Werewolf in London, so let's see if he did it for The Howling, which he might have. No, Rick Baker did not do the special effects for The Howling, 1981. Well, he was originally contracted to work on the film. He left work to do an American Werewolf in London instead. He left The Howling to his assistant, Rob Bottin. See, I knew something was amiss.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is it's his assistant, so they still have to do the same practical effects. It's the same guy. So it's still under the thing. I saw the documentary. Like, I literally telling you that.
That's the same guy.
In the documentary, they were saying that the same practical effects were used.
She just doesn't listen, Lance.
I know, she doesn't care.
You literally told her.
she's like, God forbid, Lance, you're right.
She had to walk away just to hide so that she can come back and pretend that conversation never happened.
Yeah, I know. Like, let's come back and like, anyways, Tremors.
So anyways, back to Lance being wrong.
Yeah, exactly. If you're watching the YouTube, folks, you can actually see the whole Kevin Bacon picture now.
Yeah, I know that A's not in the way.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Is that the shirt you bought from the market we went to?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's really cute. I cut the sleeves off though, because I live in Florida. So Yes. Well, whatever. Back before I was so rudely interrupted. Amalgamated Dynamics. So they're responsible for a shit ton of films, but they also did. And I just wanted to go through their horror movies really quick because I feel like I keep starting something and people just keep interrupting me today. I don't know why.
Lance doesn't respect women.
I know.
There it is.
So we have obviously Tremors in 1990, then Alien 3, Death Becomes Her, Demolition Man, Wolf. Oh, the Santa Claus. Mortal Kombat, Jumanji, Tremors 2, Mars Attacks, Alien Resurrection, Starship Troopers, The X-Files, Bats, Hollow Man. Ooh, speaking of Kevin Bacon. Evolution, Tremors 3, Panic Room, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Alien vs. Predator. So a lot of Alien movies.
Yeah.
Alien vs. Predator, Requiem.
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 It's funny that you mentioned all those movies and then you mentioned Mortal Kombat, which is a movie we just shit on their effect.
Well, yeah, I know, because I think that that's like, it's one of those things that they have to like keep up with the times. And I get it because having CGI, I can imagine, was probably like a really cool thing to like incorporate into your films. But if you go back and watch The Cube,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God.
Or Langoliers.
Yeah. Langoliers is really bad too. But a lot of Marvel movies on here, Godzilla, like
The
Jurassic
1996 one?
No, Godzilla from 2014.
Oh, never mind.
Not the Matthew Broderick one?
No.
That's
No,
what I'm
I
talking about.
wish. I like
know.
that one. Well, I used to like it. I wonder if I'd still like it. The Predator from 2018. And Prey from 2022. Oh, speaking of Kevin Bacon's daughter, Prey. I'm not Prey, sorry. Smile from 2020.
I was like, Kevin's
I don't know why it won't out.
Prey.
Yeah, I always forget that what's her name is his daughter, but she looks just like him, so I shouldn't forget about that. Anyway, so yeah, I mean overall I think that Tremors still holds up today, especially I think because there is no CGI, or if there is, I haven't seen it. So also too, great script writing, having Kevin Bacon in and then watching it, because I think a lot of people who didn't watch it then probably like, oh my God, Kevin Bacon's in it, let me rewatch it. And unfortunately, Fred Ward is no longer with us, so if they did a sequel or a reboot or any kind of updated series on Tremors, we won't have Earl, but Michael Gross, I'm sure, will be happy to reprise his role. So
And Reba.
and Reba, I don't see why Reba wouldn't. She's a survivor.
Her base is turning against her anyways.
Oh,
I mean, it'd be kind of funny to have Kevin Bacon's character be with the Melvin character, like he's the new young kid.
Oh, I was like
you mean?
Together?
Yeah,
Fell in love after this whole thing.
Yeah, he's like,
what?
He's trying to make it sound okay because I told him he was too old for me last time I was in Florida.
Oh wow, there it is.
Anyways, Tremors. At the end, it jumps out of the canyon and it looks like a huge turd, and then it falls on the floor and breaks in half, and that was so gross.
Yeah, well, it's like it busts open. It's like a giant slug falling or something.
Just like my turd.
Oh my God. Anyway.
It does look like a turd, though. I was like, who designed this?
Well, I guess they were trying to make it look a little different. Like initially they were supposed to have like a skeletal like out like exterior, so that when it popped out of the ground it peeled back and then like you could see it, but then they were like, oh, it's a little phallic, so we can't do that.
Yeah, let's just make it look like shit instead.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be
like,
PG-13 if it looked like a penis.
It looks like a piece of shit with like those beetles that have the mandibles on the front. Like,
yeah,
it's like the intern was late coming up with the creature design, so he just like took a shit in the box and like grabbed a beetle and put its mandibles on it. I was like, here it is. Like, it's beautiful.
It also kind of reminds me of the mandibles from not Super Troopers, but
the bug one.
Yeah,
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Starship. Well, yeah, it's the same creature effect, so I wouldn't.
They probably
shocked.
recycled it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me. In horror.
I mean, but yeah, like I said, it holds up today. I have not seen the sequel, so maybe that's something. If you guys are interested in hearing our thoughts on the sequels, maybe we can do a Patreon episode on them or something, or at least a couple of them. I would be interested to see part 3 if the kids come back.
Yeah.
And see.
I would be down to do it. Who knows? Maybe for a Tremor Thanksgiving. I don't know. It doesn't really have the same ring to it because I was like, what starts with a T? There's no month that starts with a T.
Yeah.
No. Tremor Tuesday. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, overall, love this movie. It's one of my favorites. It's got great rewatchability. Like, I just watched it a few months ago, and I was like, oh, we can do this again because I want to watch it again. So, it's
Yeah.
summertime. It's a good summertime horror flick, people, and it's, it takes place in Nevada, in the middle of nowhere. So, if you like that kind of fun stuff, of isolated people out, just trying to survive, then this one's definitely for you. So, did
Yes.
everyone else feel the same way before we leave? Or no?
I think it holds up just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Story-wise, I'm like, like I said, it's like a straight people movie. But acting, effects, gore, everything is good. I just like between the halfway mark and the end, I'm like, let's hurry up and get the shit out of the canyon. But I will say that I was watching it and I realized that Feast borrowed a lot of things from it. I don't know if you've ever
Oh,
seen that movie Feast, which is really good.
That was the
Um,
greenlit one, right?
that's more gay friendly than Tremors, but it's the gay Tremors. But yeah, so I recommend watching it. It's definitely a classic for a reason. Just whatever.
mm-hmm. Lance, really quick.
Yeah, no, it's a classic. It's always going to be a cult film, if you even want to say that as well. I mean, I don't know what the other ones really get into. I think I only saw the second one, and it still had Frank Ward in that one, I think. And they just switched up the guy instead of having Kevin Bacon. They just had another dude that was kind of like either playing his role. I think he like the guy took the role, or it was somebody different. I can't remember exactly what they did, but yeah, no, I think this movie's always a hit. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are, and if you want to get into other movies, cool. But the first one's definitely always going to be a banger.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, I think it's streaming in a couple places right now. Let me just double check. I have it, so I didn't have to worry about
It's
streaming
not
it.
streaming
But
anywhere.
oh, it's not?
I had to buy it on Vudu.
No,
Okay. Well, yeah, if you
You
have an
can buy it or
AMC
rent it.
subscription, yeah, or an Amazon subscription,
or
yeah.
other nefarious things you can do.
Or, you can be like Lance and just screw everybody over. Which, by the way, I just renewed our Shudder.
Yeah, Lance. She'll be expecting your half of the payment.
$89.99 for the year, and I accidentally clicked on the year instead of monthly, so I ended up paying it like right up front. I'm like, oh, like that hit pretty
Well,
hard.
You save some money, so
But you know what? It's cheaper than everything else, so I still can't bitch about it. Anyway, so there's that. Okay, well, if you now that we're getting to the end of the episode, everybody, that's a wrap on this week's episode. If you want to see our faces while we ramble and figure out what Lance's word of the week is, and it's Fred Ward, not Frank Ward. Okay.
Fred
Not
Ward.
Freddie, not Freddie Perez. Okay.
No.
Freddie Prince. Um,
It happens.
Check out our video cast over at youtube.com/slashers podcast. Plus, don't miss our bi-monthly deep dives into all things horror nerdy at the Comic Chop. Only on YouTube, a hot club, a slashers podcast, and much ado about nerding. I think Joe is waiting around for you guys. So what if you better go,
yeah,
give him a
Lance.
call.
Yes, Mikey.
Exclusive content or just can't get enough of us? Join us on Patreon for monthly exclusive reviews, bonus episodes, and some killer new perks. Head on over to patreon.com/slasherspod to become part of the band. If you want to rock some Slashers swag, our merch is available on Redbubble, where you support loud and proud, slasherspod.redbubble.com. If you want to buy the Slashers podcast t-shirt that I wore at the Monster Mart, and you probably saw in our videos, you can go ahead and reach out to one of us. If we have any sizes left, we'll definitely sell them to you. We're selling them for $15 plus shipping, so just give us a shout out on Instagram. Join the conversation. We're hanging out on Instagram at SlashersPod for everything podcast related, and at Mutant Goons from Beyond for all things weird and wonderful. If you want to yell at us directly, you can find us on social media. Myself at Pathologically ADE, Mikey at Horror and a Half Shell, and Lance at Zombie vs Hate. If you can't figure out the devil box known as Instagram, then find us on Facebook. Come chill in the Mutant Goons from Beyond group for all the chaos. Shout out to our B-Movie TV fam. Catch Doug on Friday Night Action and Yahira on Saturday Night Terrors only on Roku. A big thanks to our amazing patrons. Josh Gunn. Dinosaurs will always be awesome. My mom, Lorene, Kevin Leamy, Vlad Lewis, Leslie Thurman, Cam, and our new Patreon member, Jay. If you want to join them, head on over to patreon.com/slasherspod and become part of the horror family. As always, thanks for listening, and remember to stay spooky. Goodbye and good die.
Bye, friends. Don't die.
Yeah, go ahead and die.
Lance.
Lance.
What?
Rude.
And I'm not talking to Joe. He wants to deport my children.
That's not true. He's also Mexican.